Hello, and welcome to the Virus Podcast. This week, recorded on a Sunday because of just issues on Saturday. We're gonna be talking about Stonk. The Stonks.
Yeah, but we don't have Joel.
Damn Joel, but if we could still explain it. Joel, normal Stonk man, is not here at the moment. He might join, to be fair, midway. Do we want to talk about the Stonks then? Because he might join. I feel like...
No, let's keep that.
Wait, we'll keep it under wraps for now. Because if Joel actually does join, he can probably properly explain it. But most people don't know what we're on about the Stonks. But the Stonks! Pierre, we got to lose the Stonks!
What else happened? Nothing's really happened.
Major Stonks.
This year's boring.
Shit. Yeah, because there's not much that's happened, like, at all. There's sea shanties, which sea shanties are cool, but they've been happening for a while.
Really? Why is it the Wellerman? Like, come on, can we get, like, you know, the classic Drunken Sailor classic? But still, this year is so fucking shit.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened.
Just a bit boring, really. Not much has happened.
The only thing that's happened is the riots and the president.
There's been a rocket launch, I think, what was that? Thursday, Wednesday? Somewhere around that time.
I don't know.
Caleb would probably know.
Yeah, probably.
There's not really
It's
much
not...
that's happened.
No new games.
New games?
No, there's none.
No, there's none. There's been a Sea of Thieves update that I can't remember what even in it. To be fair, there's nothing really aside from the Stonks.
The Stonks. Oh,
Stonks. Gaston.
Well, there's Hitman 3, but...
Hitman 3.
I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
if
Hitman 3
that's
came out. Hitman 3, to be fair, just looks like Hitman 2.
Yakuza in remastered edition is on Game Pass. Oh yeah. What's that? There's a game called Bonkies.
Oh, there's the whole Europe thing about vaccines, to be fair.
Oh, what's that about?
How some people in the European Union are trying to stop vaccines from coming to Britain.
Why?
I don't. I think it genuinely is true. I don't think it was true at first because it just seems like a stupid thing, but because of borders.
Why they don't? That's what it does.
She's kind of toxic.
I don't want to die.
I don't want to die, man. I do not want to die, man. I do not want to die, man. Please, man.
Jesus, this is good. Oh, you're in fuck's sake.
So Britain launches new visas for millions of Hong Kongers fleeing China's crackdown because China is a disgusting country.
Bad.
Which is a really weird thing. Actually, I kind of want to talk about China because I've been thinking about this recently. But China are like a really ruthless government, right? But they're not really religious, are they?
No.
I don't know if they are, which is like the really weird thing because most ruthless like countries normally have some like religious backing or something to drive people.
They're very against religion. That's why they.
But they're actually extremely against religion, which is the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to do with. But they did that with the Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
But they exiled him because, like, kind of banished him basically, because he was religious. But you know.
Most like. Just most of the countries that are really tyrannous, or at least have a lot of control over the populace, are very religious. Because religion is a very strong factor in people's way, because a lot of people, weirdly enough, people like believing in something. They're just like believing, oh, die, and then you die, and that's it. People don't like that. Strangely enough, it's a sad reality. Yeah, I'm an atheist. I believe in this.
What was I gonna say? The Resident Evil meme woman, that was the thing.
Oh my
god,
god,
versus King Kong.
The literal demo. Not even the game's not even out yet. That was just a demo.
Well, I mean, you see Markiplier's video and he's like, why has no one told me about this?
Why has no one told me? I saw Jacksepticeye's video on it, which is really good.
Oh, I
The
haven't
demo
watched
does
Jack
look
in a while.
pretty promising for the Resident Evil game. It does look pretty cool. I like the
Yeah, but
idea of it. I like how
I don't
it's
really
just
know what's
going back
happened to
the-
Resident Evil though.
Resident Evil has like it used to be just like a zombie franchise. Genuinely had a storyline. I think now it's just turned into like a franchise of horror games that are kind of the same, like puzzle ones.
Yeah, well, no, I think there is a relation between the others, but it's like
I think this newest one might be slightly disconnected. Weirdly, I don't know if they do somehow connect it to it. Kind of fair enough.
they're like
It'll make
prequels.
sense. But some of the like, it's just I
I
don't
swear
think
they
some
were
of the Resident
prequels.
Evil games actually connect to the other ones. I don't know.
Right,
But
get
I
it.
do. To be fair, I like where the franchise is heading. It's not like I hate it. It's just a very different turn from what it was, which was a.
No, I
zombie
think
game.
this is in the same.
It's in the same kind of thing, but it's very more.
Because it's
It's a
talking
lot
about,
more
like-
puzzle based.
I was talking about Raccoon City and stuff like that.
Raccoon City. It's a zombie.
I think this might be like a
Prequel.
prequel.
It probably is a prequel because everything apart from the fact that a bunch of like gothic vampires living in a mansion seems relatively normal.
But they have like, yeah, they
They're
have
like,
like
oh yes, we hired
weird
maids.
zombies.
It's like, oh, if you hire maids, obviously there's something to actually get the maids. It's not just like, I'll pick you up for the street. You want to survive the zombie apocalypse? Get in my house and be a maid.
Well, I don't think in Resident Evil the zombie apocalypse is everywhere. Or is it?
I
don't know.
can't remember.
I've never played
I'm
one.
not
really.
getting into Resident Evil. It's one of those
It's probably
franchises where you
confusing.
can talk about
It's
it
a
for like
Japanese
years.
game
It's a Metal
franchise.
Gear Solid thing.
Yeah, it's a
like
Japanese
that.
game franchise
Japanese game franchise.
that you can't really talk about. Them.
Ah, yes, Liquid Snake.
Without going in.
Gaseous.
Possessed arm. Anyway,
It's just a lot of zest in Japanese games, which, to be fair, they make pretty decent games. They make some pretty good games.
yeah, the story's amazing, but
Those are amazing,
What
but
was
also the most confusing bullshit.
what else is the King Kong versus Godzilla meme.
Oh my god, yeah, how did we forget about that?
Oh, someone got really angry at me because I kept calling people that like King Kong tards, and they
Because
actually
I'm
thought
not-
that was
I'm
like an
not-
offensive
I'm
word.
not gonna lie. It's pretty obvious who's gonna win.
Yeah,
If they somehow
what-
make if they somehow make King
I
Kong
don't
win,
think Live is gonna
it'll
win.
be
Though. I think it
surprising.
might be like,
to be
oh,
fair, it probably will be like a
Mechazilla.
draw, and they'll be like, what?
and then Mechazilla will appear at the end, and they'll be like, oh,
Team up, beat this
next
fuck.
film, next film, boys.
Yeah.
But I don't think people realize that girl was getting really pissed off. It wasn't because I was like bullying people for liking King Kong. It's just I prefer Godzilla
Weirdly
and
enough, King Kong's pretty cool, but damn, radioactive
yeah,
lizards.
Godzilla's he's a dinosaur. Like yeah, lizards are cool. No,
literally
monkeys
has
are cool, but I mean,
like his skin.
He's
he
literally just
already
a big
has the
human, isn't
advantage. And just even if he wasn't using any special powers, he already has the advantage because he
yeah,
literally
it's
has
literally
durable
just a
skin.
human. Godzilla, no, King Kong's just a human.
Basically, just a,
It's kind of boring.
doesn't he have like a staff or something?
He's like an X that's made out of like one of King Kong's. No, Godzilla's like spikes, I guess.
Which, to be fair, that probably is pretty lethal. But I'm not gonna lie, he's
Well,
actually
it can
gonna get
absorb
close.
his. Yeah, it can absorb his like radioactive thing though, and it like makes him have like a charge attack. A lot of people have been seeing like Mechazilla things, so they think that Mechazilla's gonna do.
Cool
It
monsters.
looks good. Coming out 21st of May, I think, which is cool.
Anime is getting a. I think a lot of animes have started opening up their episodes. It's the new season of all the anime.
Yeah. AOT, Jutsu Kaisen, and all that. Well, that already had, but you know what I mean, like it started.
Yeah. AOT only came out like a couple days ago, didn't it? Or was it today? Can't remember.
The new episode came out today, but I think it started like this season, didn't it? Did it start before?
It started last season
Yeah.
and this season. I think it genuinely. I think it kind of crossed over. To some animes do
Yeah, I
that.
think
I
it's
don't think
start-
many
yeah.
animes actually compared to seasonal things, but most animes will. But if you're like a really big anime, I don't think anyone really cares what season you come out. It's just like, anime, and they'll just throw it at you. Dr. Stone, I'm not gonna lie, fairly boring so far. But that's just because
Yeah.
that's how Doctor Stone works.
Well, it's the third episode, but still, it is pretty fucking fun.
Third episode's probably the worst one so far, just because it's literally just like an interrogation. And it's like,
Filler.
it's kind of,
No, I'm
it is basically filler, I'm not gonna lie. I like how it was genuinely just like, oh, it's a super fan, that's kind of funny. But it's the fact that it's like, really? You based an entire episode around one singular human being?
That's funny.
That was it.
Well, I mean, in anime that's alright, but not Doctor Stone. Like, we barely knew
Doctor Stone. Barely even know there's a new just completely introduced character in this entire faction that we don't know. You've just introduced them, and you've based an entire episode around them. And they're pretty boring. Because their entire character is them being another person. Or looking up to someone else.
Being a fan.
Yeah. And apparently a bodyguard.
Yeah, she's the guard of that.
The guards of those two. Because obviously can't be trusted because they were Senku's friend.
Yes.
Yo, imagine being Senku's friend? That's so weird, my guy.
What the fuck do we do? Oh, WandaVision, I guess. Have we talked about that?
I don't watch WandaVision because I still haven't got access to Disney Plus, but I will soon. So I'm gonna watch all the Mandalorian.
I'm just gonna say that.
Yes, I shall watch all of the Mandalorian now, and I have not watched it on any piracy website at all.
No,
I have not committed to any illegal transactions with nobody.
Nah, bullshit. Anyway, what? Oh yeah, WandaVision's good.
Yeah.
It's pretty important to the MCU, so...
Oh, it's extremely important.
So don't skip it. Don't be a retard and skip it, because then you'll watch Doctor Strange, you'll have a seizure.
You'll be like, what's going on here?
It's very important to the future, like, you need to watch it, or you won't understand what is going on.
Like,
especially when it goes more into space.
And I've been funny with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you probably could have skipped over it, but it's a very good film. I'm not gonna lie, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, really good film. But for the actual main plot line of the MCU, you probably could have skipped it.
Yeah.
Obviously someone dies in it, but also they aren't really in the MCU, despite being one of the coolest characters ever. Kind of rude.
Yeah,
they're
mainly just the Guardians of the Galaxy character. Yeah. Like, they're not like, they don't really affect anything else.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
But Thor's gonna be in Guardians of the Galaxy. When's all the new MCU movies actually coming out? They should be coming out eventually. Like,
I don't know. Well, Black Widow is supposed to come out last year.
Yeah, what happened to Black Widow? I have not seen it. I've not heard anything about it either. I don't know when it's gonna come out, and I don't know why. It's a bit well, I know why. I think they're just waiting for everything to be over, and they're just gonna, which is probably the stupidest thing to do. It's great.
No, I don't think they'll do all of it.
But pandemic
like they'll take it slow.
Not the smartest thing to do, but business wise, they are probably just.
Oh yeah, because we were gonna get like the Chinese Marvel film. Remember him? What's his name?
Oh yeah.
Well, like a Chinese Marvel character, Chang Li.
I can't remember.
Chung Long, no, that's a fucking Mortal Kombat character. I think.
Yeah, I think it had Scorpion. That'd be sick to be fair.
But anyway,
add Scorpion to the
MCU. Oh, and Deadpool 3 is gonna be in the MCU, and it's gonna be R-rated, and they're not gonna change it.
Oh, I wonder how that's gonna work.
Well, it's gonna be. No, it's just a Deadpool film, but they're gonna say in this.
Ryan? Oh no, Ryan's connecting.
He's gonna be dumbed down.
You were connecting for a second.
Well, basically, so yeah, Deadpool. It's like his first film on his own is gonna be R-rated, and then if he joins the Avengers, it'll be like
gonna have to
dumbed
put a
down.
silencer on him.
Did it happen again?
No.
Oh, they're just gonna dumb him down.
Yeah.
And then well, but people are like, oh, well, it'd be stupid.
You'll
but it'll
probably
take
get
the piss
the
out
one
of it.
swear word. We only get one swear word. Let's use it wisely. Fuck.
Yeah, it'll take the piss out of it. It wouldn't be like. It wouldn't just be like, oh, this is natural. It'll be like, oh. They're probably sent a lot of shit. Just I think that'd be funny. Is that just?
Yeah, it's because I have to adhere to this.
Yeah, then he just goes up, like, he says, yeah, I can't even say it. Beep, 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 and they just look at him like...
Beep, beep, beep. We're just staring at Jesus, man.
Language.
Language.
Why
Just
doing
got
Captain
Steve
America,
Rogers
though?
just...
Did someone say a swear word?
Because how do they... I don't really know how they're going to do it. They're just going to randomly just slap him in and then just like have some kind of introduction. Or they're going to do like a cable, like dimensional thing. Because that'd be pretty cool. if they
Doctor
just did
Strange and Wanda
or
and all
Doctor
that are gonna
Strange.
cause...
Something along
I
those
think they're
lines.
gonna cause weird shit.
Yeah.
Because obviously
It's gonna be
Wanda's
like
in...
Fortnite.
Wanda's in Doctor Strange. I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair.
It actually worked, that's... Oh god.
Yeah, we'll give you a couple of our characters if we can take a couple of notes out of your book. Epic Games.
To be fair, I do like what they're doing for like the new crossovers. People just complain all the time.
People
every time
complain. It
there's a
doesn't make any
crossover.
sense. Why would you complain about something that isn't affecting you? Do you play Fortnite? No,
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
just
matter.
because they like something when they're a kid.
Who cares?
They're like, that's ruining it. I was like, yeah, but now new kids are learning about it. And they're gonna, you know,
They're gonna grow up
watch
and
it.
they're gonna watch it. It's gonna be fun and it's gonna be cool. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, people should
People are stupid. People are gonna watch
make
Predator.
this.
People are gonna watch
Oh, yeah.
Robocop. People are gonna watch Terminator. It's gonna be sick.
Oh, it's such a... Why does this happen?
It's great.
Why is my headset for
I will say, Fortnite has kind of turned into a dead... To be fair, Fortnite's not dead. As much as people say it is a dead game, it's dead. It's a dead game to, like, regular people. It's not a dead game to kids. Some regular people still play it, obviously, but a lot of children play
It
it.
had, no, like recently they found out like last year it had like 20 million active players or something.
Yeah, it's not dead game. Loads of people are playing it, it's just not people that talk. Or are allowed to talk on the internet.
Mom, I need the internet so can I play Fortnite? No, Jimmy, you're not gonna.
Yeah, and all the people that do like talk about like me who are like my age, everyone's just like, well, that's cringe.
I don't like Fortnite. I don't like Fortnite.
Like, then cool. But, like, it's not a bad game.
No, I hate when all the people like I talk about and they're like, yeah, but
Fortnite, man.
why do you still play Fortnite? I was like, because it's
Because I like the game.
a fun game. What?
Yeah.
So
It's like the fact that
it's
I
like
still
they think
play
I'm gonna be like,
Roblox.
no, wait, hit me out. I'm like,
Hit me out, guys.
It's like the fact that I still play Roblox. Because Roblox is funny. Or stupid. And
Exactly.
bullying children is hilarious.
yeah, I like being the predator doing the Gangnam style after murdering a
It's the
child.
stupidest thing in the universe, and it's great. And Fortnite's just a fun game, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like when we did create it, that was pretty good.
As terrible as I am at, like, building, I really like the game. To be fair,
Yeah.
it gets boring after a while, because it's a battle royale, it's gonna get bored after a while. You're literally doing the same
Yeah, it's the
thing
same
over and
thing.
over again.
That's why we go into like creative
I'm
sometimes.
so surprised that
because-
Fortnite, or like any battle royale, is still relatively alive, because guess what? Even with
Yeah.
like new content, it's basically the same fucking game. Depending on
It's
how
strange.
game-changing the content is. Even with the addition of boats, it rarely changed the game. I'm surprised Apex Legends is doing as well as it is, for how like, fairly
Yeah, that's
mundane
another
it
game
is.
that people think is dead, but
It's not
that
dead.
dead.
It's really
yeah,
not.
still.
To be fair, it's actually got a pretty good fan base.
I kind of want to go back to it with this new character. That's
Yeah.
what it does.
New characters actually looks really useful and sick. Because his like
Yeah.
passive ability is he's able to shoot grenades out of his arm.
Yeah, that's helpful.
I don't think anyone knows what confirmed his abilities are, but it's pretty obvious from the trailer. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and I think well, he's coming out soon, anyways.
Yeah, it's coming out soon, so it doesn't matter. I might install it on a PC because it is crossplay, so it won't stop me.
Oh yeah.
Because I
Oh,
need to
wow.
get. To be fair, I'm already alright at aiming on PC. It's the fact that some games are just very weirdly bad at aiming at. Like Battlefront.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, I'm alright at aiming at now because I've actually played it. Fortnite, terrible. Because I don't play it at all. Third person games just put me off a bit weird. Fact is, I'm still probably better at aiming on console than I am on PC, which is weird. Probably because I've played console like basically all my life.
Yeah.
Credit to mouse and keyboard though. It's pretty easy to pick up, I will say. But obviously no one's going to be a god at aiming. But I am not, but I'm still pretty decent. But the fact is I was pretty good at aiming on the console. I'd hit most of my shots.
Boo.
I just don't like Fortnite aiming at all. I've never liked Fortnite aiming because of the fucking bloom. Like, people complain about bloom on Halo Reach. Bloom on Halo Reach is nothing compared to Fortnite bloom. Fortnite bloom, you shoot one round,
God.
the next round's going to hit a mountain at 90 degrees to your right. Not being.
That's why I don't really like scars. They're not.
That's why Fortnite. That's why I don't like Fortnite, because the shooting isn't as fun as the building. The building's like main point of the game, and the fact is shotguns are basically meta always because it's just a consistent fire. It's always in this small area. Amazing. Despite the fact that, you know, shotguns, surprisingly, meant to have a decent amount of spread, literally has a consistent spread rate. So, compared to assault rifles.
Yeah.
Unless
and then
you do
there's
the
like
thing
a
where
thing
you
where you can like
sit
see
still
where the...
and then
Yeah, and there's like this thing on Fortnite you can get where you see where, like you can see the spread of your shotgun. Like where the little pellets go, which is pretty helpful.
Yeah. I think I had that on by default. I never turned it on, but it happened for me. I think that's just the default thing. Which is
it
really
might be,
nice,
I don't know.
Which is a really nice touch if it is a default thing, but if it isn't, it doesn't make any sense because it's so useful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that people can put in games that would really change a game or make it a lot more fun to play. But a lot of games don't do it, and I don't understand why. It's like, why would you not do that? You just put it in the game, you know, it'd help. It's like the thing where you heal when you killed in Fortnite. People really like that because Fortnite's, I will say, at the high level, or like even medium level for Fortnite, it is very useful in like fast-paced.
Yeah,
like,
and you can still do that in
battles.
Arena, but who the fuck plays Arena?
Nobody plays
like
Arena
if you're a
except
normal
for
game.
tryhards.
Yeah.
And thank God. And even some of the tryhards still play in our game. I don't understand how we get matched up against the people that know how to build.
No, and I don't know why they're still playing.
We're just a bunch of like idiots.
So
we're literally just running around with like, like grey.
We hide behind
M16
trees.
tree. We hide behind trees and make a little like.
We don't even build properly.
We don't build properly. We build like
I just build a
giant wall and then a ramp, and that's about it. And then we'll sit there and we'll shoot at them, and then they'll just like, I had to move towards the enemy.
They do the thing where they do like the double ramp, start spinning around doing 90s.
Well, like a spin bot from CS:GO for half the time, but they're just building. It's like, Jesus.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
What's going on over there? Jesus.
You're scaring me.
He's having a seizure. Oh my goodness.
And they always wear like the female skins.
Beyblade, let it rip.
Female skins because they've got smaller hitbox, and there's just me as like. Then me as like Venom or what's his name, the Predator. Or something.
I literally play. I used to play as the banana, and now I just play as the really old skin.
Oh yeah, this is harder back.
So like the red eyes. Dude, nobody else.
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone else use that skin, and then Matt saw one of them. It's like, Calvert,
you never
I
know.
went, no, I'm on Minecraft.
Remember, that was when Fortnite still had like the like the what are they, like containers. That was ages.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We played the game for a long. I played in season 1.
Yes, same.
I played when building wasn't
Actually,
viable.
Even before like season 1, yeah, like when
I
it first
still
came.
play like it's season 1. That's the
Yeah, same.
no, to be fair, I played like it's season 2.
To be fair, we have won.
Well,
we do win.
We do win. We just don't win the normal way.
Yeah, we win like
I don't be funny. The
retarded.
beta try hard in a regular lobby surprisingly isn't as good as you think it is, because half the time you get killed by another tryhard.
Yeah.
And then you come.
Do you remember that
against
game
us.
where I pick at someone, like right at the end? That was toxic.
The fact is, every other aspect of the game at Fortnite I'm alright at, aside from aiming and building. I'm just not good at either of those. Aiming, because of Bloom. Bloom is just a very off-putting thing in Fortnite. Too much about it. I'm not gonna get back into it because it's just a boring topic to talk about.
Well, I start like building, and
I
then
focus
like I try.
a lot on game design.
Yeah, but when I start like fighting them, I start building,
strange.
and then I just get, and then I panic.
Imagine being.
I start building them, and I'm like, ah.
Game design.
Nah,
yeah, that'd be a bit weird.
Weird.
Bro, yeah, buy wishlist my game on Steam. I don't have a game on Steam. It costs money to upload crap. Literally, you have to get a. To be fair, it makes sense that you have to get this, but you have to get like a genuine license to upload and different things. So I think on like the Google Play Store or whatever the other thing is that was really popular aside from the Apple Store, I don't think you really need one. I think either that or it's extremely cheap. On Apple Store, you literally need to pay £100 a year to keep your game up. Obviously, for developers, isn't that much money, because obviously you've got it. It's only 100 quid, and then you put your game out, and then you get money from your game. Hopefully you get 100 quid back. If you don't, well, you've lost money. But I don't think it's a year. It might not be a year, but you have to pay 100 quid at least. On Steam, I think you also have to do the same thing, but it's not yearly. You only have to pay it once, and then you can just put your game up. I think my friend that's in my game development class was going to do that for Christmas, but they ended up not. Don't know why. At least they didn't tell me they have. They probably would have. Because they're actually really good at what they do, which is a good thing to have for a game development course if you can already make games. Strangely enough, don't think you need to go to the course. It's just a validation at that point, which you kind of need for jobs.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do this? Yeah. Do you have a certificate telling you you can do this? Well, no, but I can do this. Well, get out of my office. Hey there, Steve-O, man that barely just passed his exam. Hey, yeah, could I come in? Oh, shut up. Yeah. Game designers are very fun. I'm very interested in games. I get very frustrated at very minuscule details that can be changed very easily and aren't pointed out a lot by other people. But I don't talk about them lots.
No.
I just play Roblox games, which is a surprising thing to come from a person aspiring to be a game developer. It's like, I want to play Roblox. Because Roblox, it's great. Love it. Love the platform. Children, bully them. It's great. See me in an Arbor Patrol lobby, 1v1 me, bro, but you can't. I'm literally going to be using a truck and a 50 cal and an RPG. You won't beat me with a tank. People
They're probably free as well.
People will try, no. People will try, Ryan. I've beaten the highest level, the highest, like, health tank in the game with nothing but a supply truck, a 50 cal machine gun, and an RPG.
Oh, no.
This thing is huge, it is covered in scrap, and I have to get out every 10 shots with my RPG, go into the back of my supply truck, grab supplies, and get back in the front seat.
A fury moment. Oh.
Yeah, but my tactic is just literally just jump on top of the tanks, and shoot out their top, and then just jump in their thing with an AK-47 and kill them. And children don't know how to respond to that. One guy literally didn't even jump out of a seat, he just died.
Just accepted it.
I actually did it to a scrap tank as well.
Strange enough, children don't know how to react to someone with an AK-47 jumping in the tank.
It's
the Hitler Youth. I find that funny with the Hitler Youth. They're like, yeah, just blow up them tanks, thank you. No,
tanks. Yeah, wasn't
I'm 3 years old.
Were people in the Hitler Youth actually in fury? Wasn't the children that literally killed like one thing? Cause they had like a Panzerfaust. They had the rocket launcher, like the single-use one that you can shoot a tank
I think
with.
so.
Yeah, they literally were like in the trees.
Yeah, they got the Hitler Youth to like blow up tanks.
Yeah, and then they gunned them down. It's just like toxic, bro. You just killed like 5 guys.
Yeah, they just gunned down the kids.
But to be fair, they did take out one tank. One guy got out while on fire and shot himself in the head. So yeah, I think warranted shooting.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
And that little kid was just watching him do that.
It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Small child. To be fair, Nazi Germany kinda cringe.
Really?
Nah, bro, it's completely fine.
I thought it's pretty funny.
Anyway, I thought it was alright. I thought it was fine, mate. Isn't that right, Ryan? A perfectly able-bodied human who would have not gone to any camp of concentration.
No, I would concentrate in the camp.
Damn, I'd be the hardest concentrator, bro. I'd passed all those exams.
Jesus. Oh, what is it? Now I've got in an argument with someone because they were denying the Holocaust.
People that do the Holocaust are just stupid. I don't
And another
understand it.
person was like, yeah, and then another person was talking about like,
Wasn't the
was it a place in
Holocaust cruel?
France?
How could you forget something so gangster?
It's like,
Yeah, but there's like this another guy where basically there's a place in Germany called something, no, in like France or whatever. And Germany took it over like in World War One or something, and they called it something else. And then after World War One, the French named it something. And then this gal was saying to Niall that they named it like it was always named that from the beginning, even though it wasn't.
from the
Like
beginning.
France, yeah, France like took it back and
Ah, c'est France.
renamed it. But she was like, well, no.
Well, literally historical proof this happened.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
and she was
right
talking,
now.
and she was talking about the occupation. She was like, in the occupation, it was called that. Which the occupation
called
of France was in World War Two, not World War One.
World
So
War
it was
One
after when it was
occupation was
renamed.
barely, like, it was a minimal, mainly just because,
I
weirdly
think it
enough,
was
they
that
didn't get all
one
the way in.
Yeah, I think it was that one place they were talking about.
They even get all the way into France. Ah, yes,
And they
the
just-
occupation of the
And
entirety
we won,
of
and France were like,
France.
"Can you fuck off?" And then in World War Two, they did it a bit better. And yeah, but still, yeah. Yeah, I don't get Holocaust
It's
deniers
because in
either.
World War Two, the French were scared of fighting.
Pussies.
Genuinely, no, it's because the French were unprepared. Despite
mean,
them
yeah.
attacking first, they actually they put their troops into Germany, but then they retreated them. And it was like, what? You know,
Why would you
this.
do that?
I took this part of Germany, but then I retreated back to the Maginot Line. It was like, kind of alright.
Just
That's
run
alright,
away.
but have you checked on the place they attacked in the first time? No. And they just went. And then the Germans went through some forests, which were naturally impenetrable. If anything's naturally impenetrable, still put troops there. Because weirdly enough, something's probably gonna get through. And so they did. Like, how many German divisions just rolled up on Frenchie's block and were like, "Ow, howdy doody, I'll flank your guys." And they just encircled them and put them in Dunkirk. And it was like, oh, well, that was just dumb. Oh yes, we thought this was naturally impenetrable. Obviously fucking not. Literally just walked through. Don't mind me.
Wait, are you a German soldier? No.
No.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Willie'll hold them back. He's just on the hill with his little wooden... Oh, it's dead. Jesus, man, dreams. Oh, world wars. World wars are weird. Damn. Archduke Franz Ferdinand gets shot by a teenager. Engage in global conflict.
Be more. Be more. Brr.
Bruh. It's kind of weird. What would have happened if Archduke Franz Ferdinand was not shot? Probably the band
There'd
Franz
probably still be a
Ferdinand
war.
wouldn't exist. No, I'm not gonna lie. There'd probably still be a war, but not on a. I don't think global scale wise. I think there
Yeah, it might
would
just be England and
small, a
Germany.
lot of small wars. Wars.
Walls.
Walls. A lot of Berlin walls. I don't know.
Oh god.
Because the tensions were already rising, because everyone was just making more war technology, and it was like, oh, look at this new age of war. Let's go test out my guns on the Germans. It was like, how are the Poles doing?
What foes? Dude.
No, to be fair, the Poland doesn't exist, does it? Before World War One ended, Poland was actually
don't
created
think so.
after World War One because of the Treaty of Versailles. They had to
Oh, yeah,
split
yeah.
up all the lands, so they just took off a chunk of Germany and made its own country. and then literally Germany invaded it, but they were like, instead
Or
of
is
going,
that why they were invading it? Because it used to be theirs, so they wanted it back.
yeah, but it was that, but also because they hate this land.
Oh, wasn't it also because
Which
we
is-
were like, don't invade them?
Which
And then they were like,
yeah,
"Hee."
literally, if you invade Poland, we'll finally actually care about every country you've just annexed so far. After annexing like 7 countries.
Well, I think Hitler wanted what, didn't he?
He did, of course he did. He was like the guy that's, you want all
Oh, yeah, they're like ruling the entire world,
war? And he was like, yes, and then yeah, There's all the memes of, do you want all-out war? And then it's just, wow, wow, it's just cutting to, like, images of Nazi Germany, and then all that, yeah. And he wanted to, he wanted Lebensraum, which was a living room for Germans, so he wanted to take over the entirety of Russia, and turn it into, like, just people's houses, basically. Because Russia's a huge country, to be fair, he may as well use it up. He wanted to make some farmland there, he wanted to get some food, you know, because obviously Russia was like, I want to be industrial now, and then everyone starved. That's literally what happened.
Yeah, Nazi Germany didn't
Can
help
I have my
with that.
rat with boot? No, you will have your rat without boot, but I like the leather texture. So yeah, they took over Poland, because guess what? Poland, pretty big. So they took that for German room, they put Germans in it, and then they beat up the Polish people, despite the Polish people, like 30 years beforehand, literally being German! Literal Germans, like 20 odd so years before they invaded, and then they were like, nah, they are now Slavics. And it was like, let's put them in ghettos, and then they put them in small little, like, city blocks. They literally put, like, the entirety of, I can't remember what the capital of Poland is. I can't remember for the strangest reason. I can't remember the capital of
So, like, where's Warsaw?
I think it's Warsaw, yeah, it's Warsaw.
Yeah.
They put the entire, like, well, most of the Polish population of Warsaw into, like, a singular city block, if they were Polish, and the rest of it was inhabited by Germans. So there was, like, millions of Polish citizens literally living in, like, one area.
Jesus.
And it was, terrible conditions. Yeah, it was only the Jews. Don't mind the, other, like, the 11...
Yeah, but that's why I don't
the
get
total 11
Holocaust
million
deniers.
people part of the Holocaust.
'Cause
It
where did they
wasn't
think
just the
everyone
Jews.
went?
It was the fact that the Jews were like the main standing point of the Holocaust.
Yeah, but where
There
do
was
the
6
Holocaust
million.
deniers think they go?
I don't know, they don't think they go anywhere. They just say that it was all the setup and the Jews were just doing that so they can get their own land or something. It's very
What's the
anti-Semitic.
So they're saying that the Jews are
Literally
like
because
killing
they're
each other.
greedy Jews.
Oh, for
That's
fuck's
basically why they deny the Holocaust, just because, damn, it's the damn Jews. Nobody else has ever done that. It's like, it's just because people just hate Jewish people. It's genuinely just because Jewish people are basically just specked out white people, but their downside is that everybody hates them because they're specked out white people. Jewish people
they've been
are
hated
talented.
for like years.
Very talented. Jewish people, I will say, most of the time, are more talented than the average white person. Or just any person in general.
But it's sad that they always
But
get,
everyone
like,
hates them.
bullied here.
Like, damn, the Great Plague happened. Was it the Great... I think it was the Great Plague. Yeah, it was, because that's the one where it was the actual, like, epidemic. Well, it was the pandemic, I mean.
Yeah.
Bubonic plague and all that. They genuinely, I think, I don't know if this was just in Italy, but I at least know it was in Italy, that they blamed the Jews for it. Because they said the Jews poisoned the water supply and they killed a bunch of Jewish people.
For fuck's sake.
And then there was the Spanish Inquisition, which I think we all know about. Are you still Catholic? No, actually, I'm Jewish. This seems like a pretty cool religion, so I don't like eating pork.
No one
is that
respects
so?
the Spanish Inquisition.
And they barge into your house and you kill them. And that's because if you're not Catholic, you don't deserve to live.
Bring me the soft pillow. Oh no. I like how he goes, bring me the comfy chair. Is that the comfy chair?
Now I'm just talking about history of the world. Back to the history of guns. Anyway. I'm not going on that tangent again. I've already been on it once. The boom boom stick was invented.
The boom boom stick.
I think it was. I can't remember how it started, but I went on an entire tangent in a group chat, and I just went on about the entire history of guns.
Oh, I remember
The
that,
guns,
yeah.
or most commonly known as the boom boom stick, was first invented by Charles Boom.
Wait, you got it written down?
No, I just remember.
You're a weirdo.
Do you not remember me remembering the
Yeah, I remember that.
tale of Timothy Specken, the Yodeling Black?
Yeah.
I'm not.
That
Am
was... Don't do that again, thanks. What is this fucking
I
game?
think it's time.
No, I don't.
Bruh.
I don't think it's
I
time.
don't think it's time to do the children. See, you get all
Oh,
of that.
fucking-
Tell me smack. Oh, you don't need to do it. Oh, he's doing it.
Why do I still have
He's got missiles.
Dauntless installed? What the hell?
Dauntless. Dauntless was a fun.
What the heck?
Dauntless was a fun game, but it was also kind of repetitive. But it was
Very.
also not. Like it was the same concept, which weirdly enough is that for all the games, but it was only
Wow.
slightly different each time. It was always just a slightly different move, but it also did the same thing most of the time. It was like, oh, so you play the game, and it was like, ah, it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
It took type advantages, and it somehow made type advantages the most boring thing in the universe. A good like explanation of. I'm gonna go more into game design now because game design is. Type advantages are such a fun thing that you can do because literally some games literally only use 3 and it makes the game completely different. It's like wow, you actually have to strategize ahead of what you're actually fighting. But in Dauntless, it literally goes well. Here's the thing that you fight against. You find the thing that you've type advantage against, and you just use a different weapon of the same variant, and it just makes it boring because
Yeah.
you're literally using the same weapon. It just does more damage. So you may as well not even have the type advantage thing because weirdly enough. You're using the same weapon. There's no different attacks for it. There's nothing. There's no special traits aside from it does more damage, or it doesn't. It does less damage or something. There's only just a slight hindrance to your plan. Oh no, mine's neutral. Who cares? It still does damage. Take Pokemon for example. Different types can somehow have different effects. If you have electric, you can paralyze people. You've got fire, you can burn people. If you're a ghost type, you literally can't even hit normal types. Same thing goes for normal types against ghost types. The different effects actually make you plan a team ahead of advance. Makes you actually think about what you're gonna fight against, not just the fact that
No.
literally just you don't play the game the same way with the same Pokemon with a different variant. Each Eevee doesn't have the same moves, but it just does a different fire type. It's not just a different type of like move, it's just genuinely a completely different move all in itself. That has different stats, different accuracy, different random bullshit RG. Like, what the hell is it called? Bunch of crap. That's how you do type advantages. That's how you do it, because you've made the game genuinely strategy, and not just, ooh, this slightly hinders my plan if I use this weapon, but this weapon is slightly super effective, and then you just use the same weapon, but it's only just one difference. It does more damage. Which, from an RPG standpoint, literally could just be done with a different weapon. So you could have made the game fun, but you didn't. You made it boring. From the creators of Fortnite, a terrible game, surprisingly. Also, critical hits. I'm gonna go on a tangent now. Critical hits. TF2. I've been playing TF2 a lot recently. I've been in the TF2 community for a very long time, despite the fact that I've basically never played it because I've never had a PC until recently. Well, I say recently, but it was last year in like August or like July or June. I can't remember.
No, that's recent.
To be fair, having a PC for like 6 months isn't that like it's not that old.
No.
Sure, most of my life I've watched TF2 content, but I've never actually played the game. I just found the game really interesting, which I think a lot of people do that for different games, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're trying to like, if you're gonna buy a game, you want to see what it's like first. You don't want to buy a game and they go, oh damn, because obviously that's what happens with pre-orders, and that's why people get scammed. See what happened with No Man's Sky and Fallout 76. At least No Man's Sky fixed itself after a couple of years and had an excuse for it being bad. Fallout 76 was just bad because they
I
decided
think
it
it's
would
kind
be
of
bad.
got better.
It has, but it's still pretty crap.
Yeah, it's not
It
good
took
yet.
so long to get better, and it still has terrible microtransactions. Unlike with No Man's Sky, it's genuinely a really fun game to play. Like, I'm a space pirate. I don't think there's any...
Yeah.
There's a lot of games that you can be a space pirate in, but I really like No Man's Sky, because it's not just you being a space pirate. You can actually sit down on, like, some games. You can actually get out the spaceship, which for I can't remember. I think it's Everspace. There's something else. It's another space game that's kind of like No Man's Sky. You weren't able to get out of the spaceship.
Oh,
It was just exploring space. I can't remember what
Was
the
it?
game was,
oh,
but that's really funny. I found it funny.
what was it called?
And my
Was it
friend
like a
put-
free-to-play game?
I think it was Everspace. I think it was something else. It was something weird. I can't remember what it was, but it's pretty funny that they couldn't get out the ship, despite the fact the game is like 9 years old or 7 years old.
Brr.
Yeah, so Critical Hits. I've been watching TF2 for a while. Critical Hits, this is nothing new. Everyone's talked about Critical Hits. Critical Hits don't work well in TF2 because it's an FPS game. Critical Hits work well in Pokemon, another good example of good game design. Literally, I think the second highest like money-making IP in the entire world. That's how good the game is. Even the newer games are alright. I think people were kind of iffy on Sword and Shield, but I think it was fun. I think the previous two were just kind of meh. But critical hits work in that game because you can actually predict when critical hits are having, or at least like a decent chance of knowing you can die from a critical hit here. But in TF2, there is literally just a chance you'll get one hit KO or something. So it's just kind of bullshit. Like with Pokemon, you can actually calculate it when a critical hit or what critical hit could do damage to you, because most critical hits, unless it's like super effective or something, won't kill you immediately, because strangely enough the game's balanced. It kind of goes the same with like random bullet spread like Bloom earlier. It's the thing is you kind of want, in an FPS, you want consistency. You don't want a gun to have a non-consistent spread, or at least a non-consistent spread that isn't largely impacted so much that the gun is basically unusable, with a point you have to sit still and shoot it. If you have to sit still, crouch, and shoot slowly with a gun or an assault rifle, it's crap. I know in real life automatic weapons aren't the most accurate, or most automatic weapons, depending on like thing, because people can just fire an MP5 completely straight when it's automatic. Well, not completely straight, but most of the time. No, spread weirdly in real life, it's different from a video game, a place where balance, weirdly enough, needs to be pretty decent for actually the game to work. So for critical hits, I actually have experienced a couple of my few fair shares of critical hits. To be fair, most of them haven't been against me, so I've had a pretty decent experience with critical hits, but I feel really bad for the people that I crit hit every single time. Because I literally one-hit KO some guy, just randomly. Didn't even know he was there. I was genuinely just like swinging my weapon around trying to find a invisible spy, and I hit a scout that came through a doorway and I killed him immediately. It was just sad. It was just like, oh, this is just pain. That's why regular like servers have it disabled. Same with bullet spread. But it's random chances. RNG in games is a very hit or miss subject. My goodness. My goodness, Ryan.
It's a gale.
What are you doing, Caleb? I'm too busy ranting about game design and RNG. What do you want from me? He sent a second message, but I didn't see it. He says I'm vibing. Well, that's good for the podcast.
Yes.
I'm vibing. Play Victoria for 4 hours. Wow, that's such a good thing to do. You probably made it pretty far then. I'm gonna go back onto my complete unnecessary rant about RNG, because game design, that's pretty fun to talk about.
Yeah.
RNG could be very well put into a game. It's pretty fun. To be fair, there's a lot of aspects where RNG's just alright. Just like spinning a wheel. Just a bit of a gambling. It's pretty fun. It can be alright sometimes, but if you make it in such a large impact where you can literally one-hit kill someone by accident, that is a wrong move. Especially on how critical hits work in TF2 as well. Because critical hits actually work. On the more damage you have, the more chance you have to get a critical hit. As I was saying, I'm back. Small interruption. RNG, pretty gamer, but if it impacts the game so much that literally you can one hit kill someone, it's pretty crap. Not gonna lie, shouldn't do it. It's not a good idea. It's terrible, stupid. Meh. RNG. Oh my god, they have it. Lizard. You're insane. I'm going insane. Oh my god, no, Joel says he can't do it today. Duty calls, but he'll be on the next episode for sure. Well, I'd say for the last 10 minutes, we talk about stonks. I don't know if Kalen wants to unmute his mic and talk about stonks. Yeah, MC RNG has become a bit too much for some people. Yeah, especially speedrunners. Yeah, Minecraft, to be fair, with a survival game, RNG kind of makes sense. RNG in a survival game has a very different impact from an actual first-person shooter. It kind of makes sense for that. But Minecraft RNG is just a bit, it's just very varied, really. It depends on what you're actually trying to get. Some people actually care if you, oh, look, he spawned here, oh my god, look at that village, but like, But if something like really cool happens, it's like, whoa, look at that! How did that happen? That's gotta be completely thing with like the whole dream fiasco. Yeah, the Piglin and the whole trade. It's a big conundrum. It's really. Yeah, you can just throw a bunch of gold. Because you get so many ender pearls from piglins. It's crazy. Especially in Java, because I think the spawn rates are different. I think they're slightly higher in Java. I will say Bedrock diamond drop rates are busted as. You can find so many diamonds on Bedrock compared to Java. It is madness. You can find like 4 diamonds on Java. The amount you'll find on Bedrock is probably like 12 or 15. It's mad how different the spawn rates are on Bedrock for no apparent reason. Then it's slightly different, despite the fact it's basically the same game, aside from the combat system. Anyway, getting on to stonks. I think I read somewhere where they're actually different, but I don't know. I might have to look more into it. But stonks, the stonks so far. Headphones, they're down. Yeah, RIP headphones. Headphones are genuinely dead. People throwing them. Have people actually thrown themselves out a window? I think a couple of people have, or at least a couple of people have cried. Which is really funny. You can do this thing, and it'll get you so much money. Everyone does it. Okay, guys, could you please? Oh no. Well, aren't the government getting involved with it as well? Which kind of makes sense, actually, to like help the economy, but it's also kind of stupid because
the thing with the stonks is, right?
What?
So what's happening is, it was a few weeks ago, someone on Reddit noticed that this one hedge fund had bought the fuck out of GameStop stocks, like so many of them. Well, they hadn't actually bought them, so what they did is something called a quick. It's where you borrow your stocks from a broker, you quickly sell them when they're at a decently high price, you wait a few weeks until they've dropped a load in price, buy them back, and give them back to the person you borrowed them from. You keep the difference, so it's pretty profitable for them. And, you know, it's GameStop, it was going out of business, you know.
You buy
it was a safe bet. Exactly. However, these fuckers on Reddit noticed this, right? And they were like, if we buy the shit out of these after they've sold them, then the demand, they will want those back. So that they want that price to decline, they want those back at a lower price so they can make profit. But if they buy the fuck out of them and that demand raises and raises, that price skyrockets. Fucking booms. So that's going through the ceiling. And then what happens is something called a short squeeze. because they can't get the stocks back, and they need to get those stocks back to the broker before their deadline. They need to buy them at these ridiculously inflated prices, driving the prices even higher, causing them to be at like fucking like hundreds to thousands of percent higher than they were originally. And so all these people that basically like hold those stocks do not sell them at any cost, otherwise the squeeze won't happen.
Yeah, it's basically the economy's. That's a lot.
That hedge fund, like there have been several hedge funds already bankrupted, like completely, billions just been torn, right? And the thing is, so then what happens if you've got all these fucking brokers that are like limiting the ability to buy, like Robinhood, which is quite ironic, really. They're called Robinhood, but when the poor start making their fortunes,
Funny. God damn.
they stop them. It's
Take
quite
from the poor,
ironic.
give to the. Anyway.
So Robinhood started it, and then there were other little fiascos with other brokers limiting the buy. And the stock, and it's like the stock market's manipulating overnight. Oh man.
Yeah, fair enough. We will now take our small RNG break for. It's like real life RNG, guys. I'm gonna go on another run. Gonna go on another run. We need content. Gonna go talk about the world again. I'm gonna talk about history. Gonna talk about RNG. I probably screwed up a couple things about the history thing. Maybe. To be fair, I didn't talk about a lot. I think the Polish thing might have been slightly inaccurate with the city block. I think it wasn't like millions, but it definitely was a lot of Polish. A good couple 100,000. It's madness, though. I think it's funny that this genuinely has changed history, and Redditor Big Bean Man Chungus is now part of history, and it kind of upsets me.
Yeah.
But also, it's kind of funny to see a bunch of hedge funds just crash because get wrecked rich people. It's just a yikes and a half. It makes sense while Robinhood and all that have kind of closed it down, because weirdly enough, you don't want the people that can buy loads to just die. You want all the rich people to stay up and being rich, because they're gonna keep buying stonks from you, and you're gonna keep making money. But obviously, it's really funny that a bunch of idiots, a bunch of bumbling buffoons, have just squandered onto the stock market and gone, hey.
Let me buy some of that.
GameStop. Didn't Dogecoin surge after that as well? Nobody even mentioned it, but it just surged because stonks were back, so it was like, Dogecoin. Yeah, Joel got on in the action. Unfortunately, he's not going to be here this week. He's in the other group chat. He's not going to be here. He's not going to be able to explain it to us. I need him to. I need it. But he won't be able to. Yeah, he's not here at the moment. Joel is kind of being a... He's being a... Wow. Bruh. Joel does hate us. Joel definitely does. He is pretty stonk killer. I think it's funny though. Yeah, GameStop. Jesus, gangster. It's funny, stunk boy. Eat the rich. Gotta eat the rich. Eat the rich. Gotta eat the rich. I'm just waiting to get Kendall to get back so we can explain a bit more. But I don't know when it's getting back. I don't think it'd be this long. RNG. So anyway, RNG is a... Thankfully, I don't have to censor anything on this podcast, unless Caitlin comes back and says his entire address like 7 times, and I'm gonna be very upset.
Yeah, I live on.
Bro. Yeah. Also, if you have any legal customs that you want applied to some of our podcasts, or you want to sue us, please contact us at Kermit.
No, don't sue us. That's
Crusaders
Why do they want to sue us?
I don't know. Gaza Strip related business, so fucking.
I don't think they care.
Probably not. A bunch of.
That's
they're
not a
watching
suable
it.
issue.
It's not.
No, it's
suable.
not like an issue you'd get sued for.
Yeah, but then we'll get money from it, Ryan. If they sue us and they're wrong, we'll get the money from them. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah.
Remember to watch episode 14, Bullying Joel. That basically has like no views. It's weird to think we're on episode 15 though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so strange. I think this podcast's gone pretty well so far. I think it's really alright. I think it's pretty alright. Top tippity toes.
I think it's going pretty spiffing, I do say so myself. Yes, quite.
Reginald, how do you feel about it? Yeah. What time are we on? Let's find out. We are on 1 hour, 1 minute. As much as I want to end the podcast, I kind of want to finish off the STONKS segment. Because this is what this was leading up to throughout the entire podcast. We're waiting for someone to come explain it to us. I want it explained. Blah. As you know, it's very late here in the U of the K. It's nearly 11:30. Which, to be fair, I don't really sleep, but for me being on the PC, it's pretty, yeah, I'm an insomniac, Ryan. If nobody's
Pretty
noticed.
ungamer.
Yeah, he's back. If we can finally finish off this segment.
Well, hey, hello.
Stonk time. So, hedge funds, eat the rich. Continue.
Yeah.
So brokers limited buy but allowed you to sell, which is not very fair market manipulation. And then overnight, so with the stock market, most trading stops at 4:30, unless you're rich, in which case you can keep trading and manipulating the market overnight, which is exactly what they did, driving down GameStop prices as much as they could overnight, trying to make people panic and sell. However, during the day, they just fucking skyrocket again.
We stood our ground. Me,
And so
big
everyone's
chunk
just
of 69.
being told to hold the stocks as much as they can.
Hold the ground.
There's also, to a lesser extent, been Nokia,
Oh, the
BlackBerry,
line,
and
dude.
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
fuck off.
Nokia and
Dogecoin has
Nokia and
sextupled in
Blueberry.
price. BlackBerry, I said. Did I not?
BlackBerry. Did you say Nokia?
Yeah, Nokia.
Nokia. To be fair, Nokia is an alright company. They aren't doing bad.
They don't really do much.
They don't do much anymore. I think they made a phone
BlackBerry,
like 2 years ago.
BlackBerry do
BlackBerry's-
cybersecurity. They do cybersecurity.
Wow, they changed, didn't they?
I mean, their phones were always known for the best security anyway. By far.
Fair enough.
Before they got into phones, they were security. They went into phones, and then they came back out again. A lot of US government officials still use Blackberries because they
They're
have,
very
like,
secure,
the best security out of any.
Yeah, because if you use an Apple phone, you get hacked in 1 minute. Anyway, it's a lot. Apple have fine security. It's just pretty crap.
They
compared to everyone
do.
else's.
They had some weird security once, though. There was that Spectre, I think,
Definitely
virus.
don't have the best. I will say. I think it's worse than Androids.
My biggest issue with Apple products is heat.
My biggest
My
issue
god,
with
they
Apple-
get hot.
Oh, they do. My biggest
Have you
problem
ever
with
fucking
Apple
had a
products is you
MacBook
need,
on
like,
your
7
lap?
other.
Like, have you actually ever had a MacBook on your lap? They hurt. They're hot. Because they don't, like, they put the shittiest, tiniest fan in them and have a completely aluminium shell. Meaning it just
I don't think you
conducts
realise-
straight into your
Did you
legs.
realise, Caleb? I literally couldn't run Crunchyroll because my phone was a ticking time bomb and it felt like a Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Was it the 7th one? I don't even know. one with
Yeah,
the-
I think it was the Note 7. The bomb.
The bomb. The hand grenade in GTA 5.
Mine
Although-
occasionally gets hot, but only if I push it to the fucking limit, and, it's quite understandable.
At one point,
But
my
to
Crunchyroll
remedy
didn't
that, I
work.
can just take it out of its plastic case, and then it's fine. It radiates all the heat away.
Thankfully, Kalen, I sleep with my fan on, so I just put my phone on, and my room is extremely cold.
Did you know that in Korea, it is considered it's considered dangerous to sleep in your room with a closed door with a fan on?
To be fair,
Now,
it could be dangerous.
there's no evidence to back it up. Like, people have looked into it, and there's no real evidence to back it up. There was, like, one prolific scientist that said maybe, but every other, like, big scientist said, nah, it's really not an issue. And, like, the reason why this myth exists is kind of unknown, but what it's thought to be is in the early 20th century as a means of saving electricity.
Scare the populace into...
Yeah, into believing that the fans would kill them with hypothermia overnight.
Get wrecked. I sleep with my fan on, and I don't have my radiator on. Get wrecked, you liberal.
Yeah.
I live in my
But
cold
yeah,
room. 'Cause the
I
cold
think
is
that's quite
relaxing.
interesting.
I like the cold. I live in a fridge. I could live in a fridge. I'll do it. I'll sleep in a fridge.
You're a
I've slept
weirdo.
in what? Bruh. I think we should end it there. With a random Galen joining. I think we should end the podcast right there. Well, this has been the Vibers Podcast, episode 15. Probably gonna be called some bullshit random crap that I can think of. We'll see you hopefully next week, or we'll have another episode 14 conundrum where we don't do it that week because everyone's asleep or something, and I'll have to talk to myself for an hour straight. Bye for now. Please watch all the previous episodes, or I'll kill myself. No. Anyway, see you next week.